Nah, just kidding. I get a lot of people come to me because they have back pain. And it usually happens when they're doing something just as part of their day-to-day life. They might be bending over and picking something up, and all of a sudden they tweak their back and they can barely move. So I would like to take you through a process. So if you're experiencing back pain, then you know what you can do to help it. So I usually lead people through this process, and it's maybe about 20 minutes long, and by the end of it, their back pain is either gone or pretty significantly reduced. Now, I don't like to think of feldenkrais as the ambulance at the bottom of a mountain that's catching all the people who fall off it. It's more of a preventative, or like an exploration of our potential. But in saying that, it is very useful for people who are in pain. So, I'm going to guide you through this. Let's do some movements, eh? All right, let's get started. So, first of all, it's good to have a foam mat or some kind of cushioning for your back. You don't want to be lying on something hard because it gets uncomfortable. But you do want something that's not so thick that it muffles all the feedback. You need to be able to feel something supporting your body. Yeah. So this is the position we're going to start in, lying on our back. Like this. And just pay attention now. Actually, straighten your legs out and pay attention to the pattern of contact that your body makes with the floor. So imagine you were a potato print and your body had been dipped in ink, and you can feel the parts of your back and your legs and your arms which are touching the floor. And notice if that's symmetrical or whether one side is maybe more spread out on the floor than the other side. Pay attention to the areas of your shoulder blades. What shape do they make? And also behind your pelvis. Okay. Now bend your legs and have your knees pointing towards the ceiling, and your feet flat on the floor. And what you're going to do is put your right hand behind your head. And you're going to put your left hand on your kneecap, below your kneecap. Yeah, so that's on the kneecap, that's below the kneecap. Now you're going to start to do movement of bringing your right elbow and your left knee towards each other, and then away from each other. It looks something like this. Now, what's important is that you don't go as far as you can. You just go to where it's comfortable. If you're forcing this process, then it's not going to help. You need to be able to stay within a range of movement where it feels really good for you. So even if that's really small, like this, or even lower, just want it to feel nice. And each time you bring your knee and your elbow towards each other, aim for a different part of your knee. So this time I might go for the inside, and then the outside, and then the top. Okay, let that go for a moment. Take a rest. Take a rest. It's important to rest with this, because we're actually doing awareness training and giving your brain time to integrate the information that you've just been paying attention to means that you can make improvements. So having a rest is a great thing. The next time you come to do it, it'll be slightly improved. Okay. So this time put your left hand behind your head and your right hand below your kneecap. And notice how when you do this movement, different part of your back presses into the floor. Just notice how that's different. And feel the way that your chest can soften and move down in that direction. So, and if you're not feeling that, maybe you're holding your chest rigid. So you could do that more. Try what it's like to do it without allowing your chest to move. It's a lot of effort. And then try allowing it to move. What does that feel like? Is it easier? Okay. And try and coordinate this movement with your breath. So see if you can experiment and find out which way is easier. Is it easier to bring your knee and your elbow together when you're breathing out or when you're breathing in? See if you can find that answer for yourself. We'll just go gently and softly. No need to get your knee and your elbow close to each other. It's not important. Okay, take another rest. Straighten your legs out and feel what has happened to the contact of your back with the floor. Has anything changed about it? Perhaps you'll find some areas are flatter, more spread out on the floor. Whatever you notice is perfectly okay. Okay, let's try the other side. Bring your legs up. And you want your legs in a really good position where you're not falling outwards or they're not falling inwards. And your feet are relatively close to your buttocks, so you don't have to hold them up. You just want them to be in a nice, easy place. Okay. So put your left hand behind your head and your right hand below your kneecap. And see what it's like to do it on this side. So bring your knee and your elbow towards each other. And take little breaks between each movement. So you let everything go completely. Just be really lazy about this. No need to be intense about it. That's the exact thing we're trying to avoid. Okay, so do it again. And aim for a different part of your knee each time. Notice how your head turns a little to the side. And notice what's different about this side. So you're doing an exact mirror image of the movement you were doing before. But how do you do it differently? We're not exactly symmetrical as humans. So what's different? You'll be doing something differently. See if you can find out what it is. Maybe it's a different part of your back presses onto the floor on this side. Or maybe your chest moves differently. Maybe your elbow takes a different pathway through space. Or do you look somewhere differently with your eyes? And you can check and compare it to the other side if you want to. Maybe I look to the left a little bit more on this side. This side feels easier actually. Yeah, there's something I do in my back, which makes it harder on this side to lift my head. And I don't need to fix that. Just pay attention to it. Okay, let's take a break. And notice, how does your back contact the floor now? Is anything changing about it? Are you spreading out on the floor anymore? Is your breathing changing? Okay. Bend your legs again. And left hand below the right knee and right hand behind the head. And let's bring these together. See what happens. And feel how the ribs on this side of you move. They kind of contract and fold together in order to bring those together. Notice, are you breathing in or out as you do that? See if you can do it on the out breath. And breathe out. And then in. And feel what your sternum does. You can give it a touch it so you can feel how long it is. And that'll give you some feedback to your brain about where it is in space and how it moves when you do this. So you should be able to feel it a little more clearly after that. See if you can send it down in that direction. Feel your lower back and how it flattens to the floor a little bit more. Okay, another break. So there's quite a few more variations of this, but I think I'm only going to take you through maybe one or two more, and we'll leave it at that, because that should be enough for you to start feeling some improvement. Okay, bend your knees again, and bring both of your hands behind your head, and you're going to interlace your fingers like this. You're going to support your head, so your head's really letting go into the support of your hands, like a hammock. You can really rest there. And what we're going to do now is bring your knees and your elbows both towards each other at the same time. So it's movement like this. And again, you don't have to go far, it's not crunches. It's the movement and the awareness that we're interested in. What can you pay attention to? How much can you notice about the way that you do that? That's what's important. So, how far can you move easily? Feel which parts of your back press into the ground more fully during this movement. So you have a certain pattern of contact while you're just in this position, but then as you lift your head and your knees, your elbows move towards the knees, everything, that pattern of contact changes under your back. So really pay attention to that. How does it change? Which parts of you press into the ground more? Which parts lift off? Move slowly. Keep your eyes soft and your jaw soft. Let your hands be soft. Just wiggle your jaw side to side. And even if it's really difficult for you to lift your head, just do it the tiniest amount. You can even do it in your imagination when it works. Let's do that actually. Let's just imagine doing that movement and make it really easy in your imagination. So I'm feeling the way that my sternum moves down, feeling the way that my lower back presses into the floor, feeling my pubic bone and how that
that my pelvis rolls backwards. Feeling my knees move through space and my elbows move through space. And everything's nice and soft. And then I reverse that process. Everything comes back to rest again. And then I'll just do the movement 1 or 2 times just to feel that softness in reality. On the out breath. Okay, let that go. Lengthen everything out and pay attention to your pattern that you make on the floor now. What can you feel has changed? Something would have changed. Is your breathing the same? Has that changed? Which parts of yourself have let go into the support of the floor more fully? And just really let yourself soak in the sensations. Just feel them as much as you can. Especially things that feel different to your normal or different to when you started. And then when you're ready, just as gently as possible, roll to the side and then make your way up to standing. And just stand there for a few moments and just feel your body and just notice what it feels like. And don't be looking for the pain or testing whether it's there or whether it's gone or not. Just slowly move back into what you're doing in your life and just pay attention over the next little while. Has anything changed about your back? All right, that was a nice quick little process, hopefully not too long. And let me know if you try this and what you experience from it. I've seen it help a lot of people, and I know that it works for myself as well. And there's more. This is just the beginning. There's a lot further we can go with taking that process further. But it's a really good first step. So if you're in pain, hopefully you get some benefit out of that. Boom. Thank you.